This is about the relationship issues that one come across, and I see that lot of people are bothered with that, and I say bothered because people are not happy about it. They have this kind of issue, relationship issue, and they are not enjoying this. They are not celebrating it. They are not feeling very serene about it, very sacred about it. So maybe I am expecting a lot from younger people, but that is the automatic feeling when you have a divine kind of relationship with people, or divine kind of not even a relationship. It has to if it has clicked, if you say so, then the and of course because of the um, so many movies around love stories that people have started thinking that it kind of automatically happens, or it happens because of the externality or the personality, or so many things, so many misconceptions are there around this. So, and I keep on getting those kind of questions, and of course I feel the the hopelessness with which many people pursue those kind of questions. But I thought I would do a video about that, expressing my takeaways from that. And it is very easy. Again, I say, if you are in a relationship and if you are thinking of a relationship, it of course is very painful. Um, Painful, whether it is love or emotion or just an attachment, a temporary kind of thing. And it is very easy for me to say it from a distance, who is not involved in any kind of this thing. So, but that has been a moment in my life. That is why I thought I would do a video, and I would tell you also about the both the sides, the good and bad sides of it, and the experience with which one gets ahead with such kind of relationship, whether the relationship go with you or not, that is immaterial, but the human being moves on, right? The person moves on. And many a times I have seen that people have got better relationships than those initial attractions, attachment, and mostly fade away after some time, because with time, with age, people become more experienced and they can judge better. Of course, it is not good also to judge, but they will know better than they were earlier. How does this is linked to performance optimization? Does it anyway affect the person's performance? Of course, when you are badly in love, or so you think, then you are not mindful about the other responsibilities that you have. The You are not thinking about being consistent with your performance, being consistent with your studies, being consistent with your work. Of course, you are not thinking about that. Or have you associated your work, your studies, your tasks, your responsibilities with the love, with the emotions that you are experiencing right now? So that is my point. There are many ways to express your emotions and getting associated with your task, with your work, um, and many ways to formulate the attachment that you are feeling. And if you love a task which is associated with the person you love, then it becomes easier for you to devote your attention, to have entire concentration on that particular thing. And then also I have observed that the the other person, his emotions, his attention, his or her emotion, her, because I'm a lady, I can tell it is the opposite sex and I can use his. So please understand that it is both ways. It happens to a lady as well as a man. And if the other person's attention is not there directly upon you, it doesn't matter because you are respecting the other person's task and whatever way you are associated with that person, right? So coming back to performance optimization, like say always everything in this world actually are factors of perception, habits, actions, and attitudes. So even emotions, right? That is also an end product of a perception. The way you are feeling, the intensity of emotions, that also depends upon your past experience and whatever you have read so far or you have seen so far. So these are all past experiences, and based on that only you are evaluating the person in front. And sometimes there will be disappointment because that kind of intensity, those are very bookish, and you are not going to find that. Hardly anybody realizes that a relationship is a give and take, and it has a lot of adjustment, and it is not 100% romance, and it is a lot of responsibilities, lot of understanding, and all that. So those are the things which do not come initially at a younger age when you are not habituated to take any responsibility. You haven't started with uh, your uh, responsibility towards life, then those things won't strike. The only thing you will know is this the romance part of a relationship, right? So that is where many questions come up, and many people express that way also. And uh, but how to actually get back to the and there is nothing. I'm not demeaning any relationship, I'm not demeaning any emotion. What I'm trying to say is it is not dependent on anything that you are thinking that it is dependent on. It is not dependent on the another person's uh, response towards your emotions or your emotions towards yourself. These are not dependent on the actual relationship, right? For example, suppose you are thinking of having um, having a very romantic relationship, and you are trying to get closer to a person, right? This is and how much closer can you get, right? The soul level closeness is uh, is something which is not dependent on the other person's response. If you are feeling that closeness, it is already happening, so you don't have to do anything, and you won't feel any desperateness with that kind of relationship either. So if it is not there, that kind of feeling is not there, then it is all going to lead you to nothingness. You'll feel very empty, very lonely after some time, and maybe you'll turn very poetic. You can express a lot of things, like if you want to invest some time about expressing all your feelings, that will be very huge, good kind of feelings, and that is how poets are born. But um, but what after the poems are written? You are still frustrated, right? If you are not, and if you are actually extending your relations, your emotions to a better understanding and better more deep relationships, then that is worth pursuing. that kind of relationships are worth pursuing. In any of the situations, there is no requirement of another person. You are not dependent on the another person for your emotions. So this understanding of your perceptions about having a relationship depends on your past experiences, and that is perception. And if um, and your attitude is kind of again a end product of whatever responses you have been seeing through movies in your family, or from any books that you have been reading. So that is again an end product. So just take a contrasting view. If all this whatever you are visualizing are not true, it has another dimension as well, then what? And what is that other dimension? And all these questions that I'm asking are because you are not tuned as yet, and you have a lot of questions regarding all this relationship. So that means your your inner being is not tuned to the other person, the other soul, right? And that is when lot of doubts happen. And who can explain you except for you? Just evaluate in terms of your own perceptions, actions, habit, and beliefs, attitude. You will see that if you evaluate all those in these four parameters, under these four parameters, you will see that this entire love story will fizzle out 90% of time. And that is the truth. And um, yeah, so that is bitter truth for you. But the silver lining at the end of the entire story is you can also start understanding about the other wavelength of the attachment that you have been feeling. If it is sufficiently uh, deeper, even if you don't understand the soul's relationship, the soul's attachment, soul's tuning in, you'll start feeling something in depth, and that is worth it, right? And also at that moment, you will not feel the other person's involvement and in the entire thing, whatever is happening inside you. So these are the two very very important characteristic of getting into a relationship. So today what I have done is I have explained in terms of performance optimization, a relationship in terms of performance optimization. Even a relationship is not beyond this. And there is a better way of having a relationship with the other person, if it has to be so, because there is a rule, and everybody would like to get deeper into a relationship, right? That is what everybody needs. Or is it something temporary? Are you thinking? Just evaluate. If it is a temporary thing, then I don't have anything to say. These episodes are not for you. But if you are thinking something long term, then and if you are thinking that you will be growing along with these emotions, then these episodes are for you. Just think and grow richer, think deeper, get involved very, very deep, so that you can grow, you can evolve.